NFTs are the metaverse. They are how the metaverse is going to be run. Who is going to run the metaverse is the person who is above all in terms of knowledge on NFTs.
Uh Bro, this whole chat about NFTs, blockchain, the metaverse. You are somebody who has been incredibly interested in that space and invested a lot of money and time and effort into it. And I've been deeply immersed in the space as well. And I want to know what are your observations of what it is right now, as opposed to like what people think it is, and where you see this going.
Well, if you look at a more deeper dive into what the metaverse is, it's more than just, and I told you this, it's more than just a blockchain. It's more than just a link of different paintings and artworks and online blocks put together.
Mm-hmm.
The metaverse is one thing that corresponds to the NFT world perfectly.
And explain why.
In terms of why, I mean, if you look at, and I told you this, if you look at how an avatar looks in the metaverse, when Mark Zuckerberg did his presentation, why do you think, and like I told you, apes went from being 2D to being 3D?
Yep.
Why do you think they went, companies, I won't mention what companies, but big companies went from not interested into cartoons into buying the franchise?
Mm-hmm.
Why did, when the Meta was announced, Facebook dipped in terms of online users, online activity?
Yep.
In terms of them always being so vocal about WhatsApp and Facebook being the platform above all platforms with 2 billion users a day, why did it suddenly go from that, which is mind-blowing, to now no one uses Facebook? Maybe locally yes, but look at the stats. Globally, it has dropped substantially.
I mean, it's got a stupid amount of users, but it's dramatically less.
I mean, TikTok overtook it. YouTube overtook it. And when I say YouTube overtook it, YouTube has more monthly users when it comes to looking at reels. And you know those small, what is it?
Shorts. The shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have more views than or users than Facebook does. But to get back to the point, the Meta, I'm gonna say this, and in a few years, maybe a few months, people are gonna look back at this video and they're gonna say, okay, but how did you know this?
Yep.
And confidently, proudly say, NFTs are the metaverse. They are how the metaverse is going to be run. Who is gonna run the metaverse is the person who is above all in terms of knowledge on NFTs. In terms of the real estate game that's gonna be played in the metaverse, in terms of the your ranking on what type of NFT you hold is gonna be the ranking on what type of player you're gonna be in the metaverse. People like saying,
I'm sorry to interrupt, bro. Like even like as a preview to that reality, like Instagram announced that they're gonna introduce NFTs now. Like even just the fact that you're gonna be able to view people's NFTs in their public wallet through an Instagram profile, and that serves as an identity status, is going to change the way that we interact with literally everything. And I don't think people have clocked that.
I mean, look at it. NFTs right now. The news for NFTs is the most unused platform. It's Twitter. Look at the several platforms. Why is it that the smallest platform is holding the most information about a apparent $1 trillion industry?
I think Twitter has that platform where like it's built for threads and conversations and deep dives. Whereas in a Reels, if I don't catch your attention in the first 3 seconds, we're gone. but
Yeah.
there people really want to get deep, like Twitter's been such an amazing learning place for me as well, in terms of like you said, if you only read articles and if you only watch videos about what this stuff is, you're gonna get a false ideology of what it actually is, versus actually being in the trenches and seeing on a
Yes.
daily where it's moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like what you talk. I want you to do the majority of the talking, but I'm so excited about this point as well. Like Bored Ape Yacht Club, of course, if it's NFTs, it's talked about everywhere. But they introduced the Ape Coin this early into stages. And by the way, the Ape Coin is their coin that is like a value add on top of their platform, which is the NFT and all the other benefits that they provide in their world. But this early into NFTs, they've already had that tokenization of the product.
Yeah.
And I mean, it opened at like what, $15 a coin? And the utility that's going to come from there is actually going to be insane. It's moving a lot faster than I thought it was going to be.
But I feel like that's also just dependent on, this is the 21st century. The moment something skyrockets, you need to keep up with the trends. And right now, what is the trend? Crypto.
Yeah.
NFT is essentially a crypto. It's what it is.
Uh-huh.
How can I say? Ethereum itself is a crypto.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So right now, what they're just doing is, because the first NFTs were apes.
One of the
Now
first,
they
yeah.
just, you know what? Let's make this an exclusive product. Because it's an exclusive product and everyone's talking about it, let's make it something that people can invest into. Once you're in the metaverse, I can almost guarantee you that same ape coin is going to become a currency.
What part do you think NFTs, apart from it being the medium that we use to trade assets in the metaverse, like acquiring NFTs in this stage of its ascendance, what part do you think NFTs are going to play in the metaverse in terms of what owning something means about the type of person that you are? I don't know if that makes sense.
I mean, it all links back to status, doesn't it?
Mm.
Remember, Metaverse is trying to make virtual reality our new reality. Like I said this to you also. It's trying to make our day-to-day lives a simulation.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I'll say it multiple times, like Ready Player One. They want us to be able to get up and say, I'm going there because that life is better than this life. Because be so blunt, I'm sorry if it offends anyone, but because I'm laying here, I don't have a job anymore. I'm fat. I'm lazy. In the metaverse, I have a nice 12 pack with a Ferrari, and I have a big real estate house in the metaverse. And what's back? I have a Border Ape #1 sitting right at the back of me. I have a millionaire in this game, in the metaverse. So I feel like it's just about status. It's about people are gonna want to be more invested in their fictional reality than in their actual reality.
And you know what I think about VR, bro? I think VR is I think social developing VR is actually the real world. Like people say, oh, you need to live in the real world. Like bro, you spend 7 hours on Instagram a day. Like that digital is the real world. So for example, it was very interesting when I found out that the $69 million by people was bought by an art collector who's going to start a museum in I don't know if it's Decentraland or Sandbox now. Sandbox, and that's going to be the premium art piece that's going to be displayed there. Meanwhile, everybody. Sorry?
Where's it going to be displayed? In the metaverse.
Exactly. So I mean, that was such a power future move, and I people get wrapped up in headlines. They get wrapped up in the emotion around, oh, somebody spent $69 million on what they think is just a photo, but they're not seeing how that can open up a world where they can actually get into a space of abundance of the thing that they're complaining about all day, which is I hate my job, or I don't have options to do my passion. And here I am
But you know,
saying, here's the world.
at the end of the day, what you just said, that specific phrase also links down to you know, when people say that, they don't realize, and again I'll refer back to school. People will always tell us you can't, you can't, you can't. You're only gonna be 1 out of 10 of you are gonna get a job.
Yeah.
No, 1 out of 10 of us is gonna get a corporate job.
Mm.
Does
Mhm.
not limit me to getting my own business.
Yep.
If I get my own business and I know 3 of my friends are unemployed, what's the first thing I'm gonna do as a reasonable, logical person? I'm gonna employ the 3 people.
Yep.
Okay, so now 5 people out of 10 people got a job.
Yeah.
It's just, hey, it's just about the way we analyze things. We taught to think in the small peripheral vision, only look forward. Like I told you, what humans tend to do is we tend to look at one thing. Like now you're looking at a phone, you're forgetting about what's going on around you. You can see it.
Yeah.
The way it's
Yeah.
there.
It's
But
there.
you're ignoring it. And that's what we do when it comes to ideas and when it comes to life. We tend to overlook what's around us because it's stagnant. It's not moving.
Yeah.
But
Or we
what
think
is
it's not moving. It's for those
Exactly.
who see the movement behind the scenes.
exactly, and that's what we tend to do. We tend to ignore the things that's stagnant in our life that we're not using, that we think is impossible, and
Uh-huh.
that tends to make us ground our
Yeah.
thoughts and our dreams. Like I said, my aunt always told me, and my granny always told me, shoot for the stars. Shoot for the stars. I always used to say, shoot for the moon. I was taught
Yeah.
to shoot for the stars. And like I
Shoot for the
told you, land on the moon so you can still see the universe.
And that was powerful, bro. I love that statement. It's
You- you-
it's funny when you speak about the school system like that, because what I've seen with the majority of people, it's either their thinking was so limited by the school system that they went through, or they listened to people who went through the school system who came from a limited background as well.
yeah,
So like it is really interesting to me when like like we're living through an era where like people want to get into entrepreneurship for um a variety of reasons, and obviously nobody can judge that. But I mean, it's people who like you can attest to this. Being the number one in a company is not the easiest thing to do. It's not the lowest hanging branch.
no, it's not. The one thing that I didn't expect, and I feel like if you told me this in school, I would have told you to get out of my way, is that I'd be someone who works happily
Mm,
hours
happily.
in and out. I mean, Dane and Chad themselves can testify to this. We're partying and it's a chill type thing, and they started, partying, drinking, and so forth. And my Chad's girlfriend asked me, because she's like, I see her as a sister as well. She's really close when it comes to emotionally, myself and her.
Yeah.
So she asked me, "What are you doing?" I was working, and she asked me like, "Put down your phone, like, come back to to reality."
Yeah.
Part had an amazing night, but what my point there is that I never thought I'd be the person that would ignore party life and be okay with sitting at home and working. I
And
never
not only
thought that.
be okay with it, love it with everything in you.
I'm being honest, I do, because I see how it's gonna benefit me, and I see how it's benefiting me already in
Yeah.
terms of moves I'm making, big moves I'm making. I mean, my job that I have is to ground my thinking and bring me back to earth. But then again, it's um it's just about working harder than the person next to you is working.
For that thing that you want. For sure.
It's,
I mean,
it's
I left school only about 3.5 months ago, and the things that have happened within that time period is absolutely insane. For starters, human beings have have such a disrespect slash lack of acknowledgement of what putting content out on the internet can actually do for your life.
Yeah, true.
Like m- my best performing video only has 13,000 views. I'm only on 940 followers on Instagram, but it's the quality of people who've seen my content and who've reached out, and I've been able to use that as like a reputation almost, and I'm building that. And that's something that you saw as well, and you believed in me, and you brought me into a project that we're working on, and I'm very grateful for that. I'm very excited to bring that into fruition, and I think people underestimate what a piece of content can do to your ambition. Whether you're a businessman or you want to be a designer or you have an ambition to be a chef, showing people your talent on the internet fucking works.
Not true. Right now, it's the only way you're gonna get out to people. Our parents had newspapers, that means, and yes, those things are still here, but I mean, they still here because there's old people around, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And we use social media now to our advantage. I mean, think about it. When someone goes missing, where do they put the face? The face of the person that's missing on social media.
Their best hope is that it goes viral on social.
And how many times does a post not go viral on social media?
And like my biggest thing is, like, people our age have allowed older people to indoctrinate us about what's actually happening in the world. You've got people who hate social media and have no idea why, or they blame it for, let's say, their anxiety, not understanding that self-esteem and confidence is the world that you need to build, so that when someone says something like what someone did to me on my Instagram post the other day, your content is amazing but the quality is shit, I'm just letting you know that those things won't get to you, especially when a video gets 12,000 views and there's 20 people saying that.
You know what? One thing that I stick by, I had such a huge circle growing up, and now my circle is family.
No.
And one thing that I stick by is that if 1% of the population, or if 99% of the population doesn't like you, that means there's still 60 million people that like you.
What about this? What about if 100% of people don't like you, but you just like yourself so much that it doesn't matter?
Well, in today's world, someone will try and kill you. That is the reality. But no, it also comes to your grounding. You know, we all get sad. We all get we need a self-esteem boost. Don't tell me you look like Kylie Jenner. You look like Dwayne Johnson or Michael B. Jordan.
Yep.
No one cares. At the end of the day, no one cares. We all cry. We all get emotional, whether you're 30, 50, 70. You know, none of us have what we see on social media. And I agree, social media does have a point where it has a slosh in your self-esteem and your emotions.
If you're not grounded, yes.
But I mean, now think about it. At the end of the day, there's people that don't have the same thinking as you and I.
That's true.
Of get up and go get it. So in their eyes, it's just like,
it's things that are happening to them. Yeah.
You know, it's just like, for example, in terms of your body, and I'll refer this to girls. It happens to guys, but in terms of girls that will like show it more, they will show their insecurities more than a guy will. A girl will see Cardi B, just as an example, you know, or Camila Cabello. She's so flawless, and whatever the case is, I want to look like her. What's stopping you from jumping? Why do you want to drink Herbex? Why not jump? You know, what's stopping you? She doesn't drink Herbex. Don't tell me she's rich and she drinks leaves and aloe vera, whatever the case is. She jumps.
Yeah, I feel you, bro. I get the mindset, 100%.
And
it's because, bro, it's like, if you think of this as a metaphor for life, when somebody says, I want to become fit and have a nice body, aka I want to achieve something, the simple answer is, bro, go to the gym and eat good food, or eat decently, or at least don't eat junk. But people want magic pills and they want to shrink their stomachs with the machine. They want
We
to
want
drink
the
syrup.
we want the
Shortcuts,
short.
yeah.
And you know what? For me, yes, social media does have a dip on people's lives that don't have the right mindset. But at the same time, if you don't have the right mindset and you don't have the right self-esteem, why are you on social media? You
You
know
know,
you're gonna see someone that has,
self-awareness.
you know you're gonna see that dream car that you probably never gonna afford because you're too lazy to get up and go and work. Like my dad told me this morning when I think he's
Yeah,
tired, he told me, you want an adult. You've always wanted to be an adult, and now you're an adult, and now you're saying you're tired. And my
yeah,
response to him was, I'm saying I'm tired. I'm not saying I'm gonna stop working.
yeah,
And
yeah.
people don't have that mindset. I'm not saying I have the greatest mindset in the world, but people don't have that mindset of,
Bro, it makes a difference.
you know.
It's such a difference.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
And like people would want to come to this podcast and listen to things that would help their businesses in their infancy grow. And what I'm here to tell you, and when I think what Matt will agree is not some fucking magic pill. It's these things that we just talked about. Do the right things and the right things will happen for you.
you know, it's not, for me, one thing that I'd say people should take out of this interview is that it wasn't business based, it was future based. It
Hmm.
wasn't me telling you how I got to where I was in terms of every single step, because like Jaden Smith says, you can see Drake climbing a ladder, but you know, you can only teach someone this much. You can only climb the ladder with someone else till they get to the top, and then
Yeah.
once they're at the top, they're gonna close the door in your face. Now you must
Mhm.
do it over by yourself, you know. So in terms of what I want people to take out of this, if I can personally just say, it wasn't business based purely, but it was business mentality based purely.
Yeah.
You know, you need to have that, and a lot of people in our generation need to have it. Is you need to be able to look up when everyone else is looking down. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Positive
So
perspective.
yes. So like at the end of the day, man, it's people just need to stop being how can I say, people need to stop being all bark and no bite and start biting.